Hi everyone and welcome back to the Sticious Podcast. I'm your host Tash.
And I'm your co-host Connor.
Welcome. Today we have a very special episode as we are doing another story time.
Story time.
Except this time we're going to be doing it on time travelers.
Ooh.
Because we haven't really done a time travelers episode, we're going to start it off. Connor, time travel. Let's talk about it.
Well, first off, I just want to say thank you to all the time travelers who have come back to this time just to listen to our podcast. Hello, respect.
Peak time travelers. Peak.
Even if it is myself, thank you and I respect you.
That's all you came back to do. Not warn anyone about any dangerous atrocities, just to listen to the podcast, you know? That's kind of what we hope time travelers would do.
Well, I do believe in time travel. Mm-hmm. I don't know if anyone has come back in time, but I feel like people might have gone forward in time.
Mm-hmm. Interesting.
Because there's that thing where with black holes, there's the time dilation. So it's a fact that time traveling forward is possible.
100%. I agree.
There was this scientist, I can't remember his name, but apparently if you were to hold a watch and you start running.
Yes.
The time on the watch would be different. It would be milliseconds different from a time on a watch that had stood still. Mm-hmm. So to me, that proves it's definitely possible.
I 100% agree with what you said. I used to have like conversations with my physics teacher all the time about the possibility of time travel because I just thought it was like the most amazing thing. And the idea that you can get stuck in a time, for me, is terrifying.
Okay, no, I wouldn't love it. Yeah. But I feel like being stuck in a time loop would be so much fun for like the first 2 weeks.
Oh, so you mean like a Groundhog Day situation?
Yeah.
See, I mean as in like you get put into the future and then you don't have a way back, or you get put into the past and you don't have a way back. I think the future is fine.
Yeah, future would be fine.
Yeah. The past?
It depends how far in the past.
Not for me, it don't. The past, no thanks. I'm good. I think it depends on where I'll be getting put.
It's like Doctor Who, where they just brush past it. Martha's like, we're in the past right now. Am I safe? Am I good? And he's like,
am I safe? He's like,
wouldn't you be?
Racism never existed, silly girl. That was just made up for the history books. That was the weirdest thing that I think Doctor Who's ever done. It's just like, yeah, you're fine. You're safe. You're cool. And it was like, okay.
And then you get like modern day Doctor Who now, where he like gives the woman like a glove and she full on slaps him.
Oh my God, yes.
Yeah, it's changed.
Oh my God,
it's
yeah.
changed.
When he's like, sorry, ma'am, you dropped your glove. And she's like, you don't touch me, kapow.
There's dangers to time travel.
Yeah, there's dangers to time travel. We would only firmly go into the future unless it was to go back in time for like only a second to specifically talk to a younger me. That's the only instance in which I would be like, okay, cool, let's do this.
See, but this is why like traveling to the past have to be a certain way. It'd have to be, it always would have happened.
Yeah.
Otherwise, you've created another timeline, but then it would have never happened because that person's already gone back, so you wouldn't go back, you know? It's a paradox. Yeah. So the only way to avoid a paradox is if it's something that had always been in motion and it was always going to happen.
That's why I feel like once you go, you can never come back because that version of yourself no longer exists.
Yeah.
That's it. Like you are now a whole new different person with different experiences to the you that's going to exist. That's why I kind of like time travel. I mean, I would never do it, but if I had nothing to lose, I probably would. Yeah.
I mean, it's the same with space travel. If I had nothing to lose, I'd be out there.
Yeah, 100%. Now that we kind of understand where we like lie in terms of time travel, but for now we're just going to talk about some stories that we found around time travel. Some of them real, some of them not, just ones that we just kind of found interesting. So we're going to start with Chaplin's Time Traveller. In October 2010, Northern Irish filmmaker George Clark uploaded a video clip called Chaplin's Time Traveller to YouTube of bonus material in a DVD of the Charlie Chaplin film The Circus. Included was footage from the film's LA premiere at Grauman's Chinese Theatre in 1928. At one point, a woman is seen walking by holding an object to her ear. Clark said that on closer examination, she was talking into a thin black device that had appeared to be a phone.
Like an Apple phone, like a smartphone.
Like a smartphone. Clark concluded that the woman was possibly a time traveler. Now, before I reveal what other people theorize this device to be. What do you think?
I wouldn't put it past time travelers, just because Charlie Chaplin is like considered one of the greatest comedians in history. And maybe, let's say, in the future, all of his footage has been wiped out for some reason or whatever. So I wouldn't put it past someone going back to see that event.
To the premiere as well.
It would
That's
be,
the thing.
It's a momentous occasion in history.
That's what I thought. Nicholas Jackson, he was the
I thought you were going to say Nicolas Cage. Nicolas Cage.
Nicolas Cage came on was like, no. Nicholas Jackson, associate editor of The Atlantic, says that it was most likely she was using a portable hearing aid technology that was just being developed at the time. Maybe, I don't know. And then Philip Groska in Barnard Becker Medical Library said that the woman might have been holding a rectangular ear trumpet. And I was like,
everyone travels around with a rectangular ear trumpet. It's like a little.
But that wouldn't look like a smartphone. Surely.
True.
Right. Like, am I tripping?
That's very strange.
Very
strange.
Inconclusive, I'd say.
Yeah.
So that one, it's just a starter. Just a starter.
Nice starter. Where's the main course?
We're going into another little start. I just wanted to give to get your brains going, as to where we're headed. Present-day hipster, 1941 bridge opening. A photograph from 1941 of the reopening of the South Fork Bridge in Goldbridge, British Columbia, is sometimes alleged on the internet to show a time traveler. It was claimed that his clothing and sunglasses were of the present day and not of the styles worn in the 40s, while his camera was anachronistically small.
What? What's anachronistically?
It was just a normal DSLR that you would get now, basically. I'll show you the picture in a second. Yeah.
Ooh, yeah. Hit me with the picture.
So this is the man.
I don't know. Because to me, hipsters dress the suspenders. They got like the shirt. They got a little fedora on.
I always thought hipsters dressed like in the past.
Yeah.
So why would someone be dressed like a future person as a hipster? It's weird, isn't it?
I don't know. That one hasn't convinced me, if I'm being honest.
Yeah.
Because out of all things, why would a hipster go to a bridge opening?
Apparently, further research suggested that present-day appearance of the man would not have necessarily been out of place in 1941. The style of the sunglasses he's wearing first appeared in the 1920s. At first glance, it looks like he's wearing like a printed T-shirt, but on closer inspection, it seems that it's a sweater with a Sonon emblem, which apparently was worn by sports teams at the time, and the remainder of his clothing would appear to have been available at the time, though his clothes are far from more casual than those worn by other individuals in the photograph. His camera is smaller than most of that era, but cameras of that size did exist. While it was unclear what his camera was, Kodak had manufactured portable cameras of equivalent size since 1938.
Yeah, I don't know. We've seen the picture. It didn't give me time traveler. It just seemed like, because no one was like looking at him. I feel like you would feel the guy out of place if he was a time traveler. You'd
that's
be like,
true.
What is this guy doing? Like, he's looking weird. He's saying weird things.
Yeah.
You'd be like suspicious.
A little.
Especially at that time, they'd be like, is this man a communist? Is he here? What's he doing? Is that little camera a weapon?
So no on that one.
No,
Sorry,
that's a no from me.
cameraman. You're just a regular old man.
The first one? Okay. It's an event.
Yeah.
I could see it happening. The bridge, I guess it is an event. But the guy from the picture, I'm not convinced.
Not convinced. Okay. The next one, the story of Rudolph Fens, is an urban legend from the early 1950s and has been repeated since as a reproduction of facts and presented as evidence for the existence of time travel.
Ooh.
It takes place in New York City, 1951. A man wearing 19th century clothes was hit by a car. The subsequent investigation revealed that the man had disappeared without a trace in 1876. The items in his possession suggested that the man had traveled through time from 1876 to 1951 directly. The folklorist Chris Obach investigated the story and found it originated in the science fiction book A Voice from the Gallery by Ralph M. Holland, who had copied the tale from I'm Scared 1951, a short by Jack Finley.
Oh, so it was just a story.
Yeah, it was just a story.
And someone thought it was like actual fact real. And wrote it in a newspaper.
It's because it had been copied from a copy from a copy.
Ah, damn.
You were into that one.
I was into that one.
Yeah,
that one had me. I was kind of like, if someone's coming from like that time, like obviously it could be a reenactor, but I don't know.
Gotcha. No,
Because I do have like theories where it's like there's pockets in the world where other realities, time's bleeding through, so you can like slip through the cracks and you end up in like a different time or in a different universe or something like that. So what other stories you got for me?
John Titor.
John Titters?
Titor. Titor.
Titty.
That's not what I said at all.
What?
Between 2000 and 2001, an online bulletin board user identified as John Titor.
Oh my God. Is this safety not guaranteed?
I don't know what that means.
In the post on the newspaper, did it put safety not guaranteed?
I don't know.
Okay, carry on.
Between 2000 and 2001, an online bulletin board user self-identified as John Titor became popular as he claimed to be a time traveler from 2036 on a military mission. Holding the many world interpretation as correct and consequently every time travel paradox as impossible, he stated that many events which occurred up to his time would indeed occur in this timeline. These included civil war in the US in 2008, followed by a short nuclear World War III in 2015, which will kill 3 billion people.
Well, we've gone past that already. So did he change the time?
No, this was his claims.
Oh, he just claimed. Then
This is what he said would happen in this timeline.
Why did he come back then? Did he not even come back to stop it? He just traveled back for safety?
Well, he was letting people know that this is what he saw.
You don't just come back and try and just be like, these are the things that are going to happen.
Well,
you
maybe
try
to try and stop
Mr.
them.
Time Traveler.
Maybe, yeah, but as a civilian, if you go into the future and you see there's a war, what are you going to come back and do? I mean, to be fair, he did say he was on a military mission, so maybe he was trying to stop him.
It's easy. You invest in like the stocks that are really powerful, and then you make yourself influential, and you take over the country and stop it.
What if he wanted it to happen? Everyone always assumes people who travel in time and see devastation are like, no. What if they're like,
that's true.
Yes, finally.
Although that's what Terminator did. He traveled back to make sure.
Yeah.
Oh, wait, but technically first, the dude traveled back to protect Sarah Connor.
No, the Terminator was always there to kill Sarah Connor.
He went back to kill him.
Yeah.
And so then he went back to protect
Sarah Connor so that she wouldn't give birth to the kid that would then destroy them.
And ironically, the dude that went back was the father of John Connor. All the events would have had to happen.
Time travel, man. It's complicated. It's complicated.
That's time travel that works, though. Because it was always meant to happen.
Yeah.
But then that means everything that happens from there on to that point can't be changed. Because if we are to say that happens, then time is singular. And you can't change what happens.
I don't think time is singular. I think that everything that can and will happen exists simultaneously. I don't know. I feel like everyone kind of thinks, oh, there's like a timeline and then there's a start and a finish. I think it's like everything is happening at the same time. So you can you can jump there, but because it's all happening at the same time, that's why I think you can't go back because it carries on.
See, I think it's not what I believe time to be, but if time travel was to exist going back in time, then you make no decisions and your life is like a book and you're just flipping through the pages. So you technically make no personal choices. It's the choices that was already written in the stars and you're playing the story.
So everything is predetermined.
If we go off the fact that time travel, if you were to travel back and you were always meant to travel back, that's how it would have to be.
Interesting.
Or there's either certain fixed points where, everything in between you can choose, but no matter what, you would always end up at that destination.
At the exact same point.
Yeah, no matter what.
So with John Titor, in the years following his last post in disappearance in 2001, the non-fulfillment of his specific predictions made his popularity decrease. Criticism had pointed out flaws in Titor's stories, and investigations suggested his character may be a hoax and a creation of two siblings from Florida. The story has been retold on numerous websites, in a book, in a Japanese visual novel, Steins Gate, and in a play. He may also have been discussed occasionally on the radio show Coast to Coast AM. In this respect, the Tito story may be unique in terms of broad appeal from an originally limited medium and internet discussion board.
I wonder if it's like one of those like marketing techniques. I wonder if like there was a time travel story that had come out at the time. So then someone comes out claiming all these theories with time travel and this is going to happen and then just disappears. You know, like the 2012 movie where it was a big thing because people knew, like, had heard the story that 2012 the world was going to end. Yeah. So if you make a movie, it's kind of similar of what this dude comes out to claim. Yeah. And plus, if you got a backing of like a production company, you can make a whole story, make it like so elaborate. Argyle?
The film Argyle, that was supposedly based on a book.
Oh my God, yes.
And then it was like they actually wrote the book and like it's a whole thing.
You mean Taylor Swift wrote the book?
Allegedly. Do not come for us, Taylor Swift. But yeah, like that whole thing. It is a good marketing like tactic if it works properly. That's the whole thing. If it works. Yeah. If it doesn't work, then it's just a bit like.
I mean, it's like the set of The Exorcist where they pretended someone got possessed and died. Although I don't know if that was actually true or if it was fake. But apparently that's what happened. And then people were going to see the film because they're like, oh my God, this happened. It's like, could be a marketing tool, bro.
Speaking of marketing tools, a video uploaded in 2006 showed a Swedish man named Håkan Nordqvist claiming that he had been accidentally transported to 2046 when attempting to fix the sink in his kitchen. There, in the future, he immediately met someone who revealed and proved to be himself about 70 years old, and with whom he had a great time. He filmed a short footage of the two smiling and hugging each other and showing the tattoo they had on their right arms. Now, I found the video, so let me just...
What?
Let me play the video.
Som tur var då, för jag tänkte det här kommer ingen tro på. Det finns inte en chans att folk kommer tro på det här. Så jag hade ju med mig mobilen så jag kunde filma det. Ja, vi stod där och tjafsade lite och... Ja, det var riktigt god känsla var det. Hur gött som helst.
Thoughts? You saw the video, right? You saw him. It was the same tattoo.
It was the same tattoo.
Video. It's the same tattoo.
It looked... I'm trying to think if it looked as fresh on each of them. Because it should be faded a little bit more on the other guy.
The video is not the best quality. So I don't think you'll be able to see that.
I feel like it's going to be a prank. It's going to be a prank. You got pranked, bro. Someone hit him over the head. He woke up and they thought, this would be hilarious.
It's the fact that he was fixing a kitchen sink and then just time traveled. Like, sir.
Hey, I did say there is pockets in the universe, in the world.
Yeah. And this was one of them.
I don't know.
Wow.
I don't know.
Wow. Let's find out what happened,
I feel like people would have heard about it if it was real.
It's Swedish. The story was a marketing campaign promoting the pension plans of the insurance company AMF.
The pension plans?
The pension plans, yeah. Isn't it genius if you really think about it? Like the idea of an ad being like a whole thing where they tried to convince people that this man time traveled and went to feature him. And then in the feature him, he was talking about the pension that he had set up and made his life fantastic. How awesome is that? I would sign up immediately. That's awesome. Like, are you kidding me?
Okay, that is pretty good. The guy who was like supposed to be him in the future kind of looked pretty good.
It looked like him. They did great casting.
They did. I think the tattoo, I think it could have been a bit faded. It did look like the regular guy's tattoo. Yeah.
But you want to know what the best part about this whole thing is? They just released the video with the statement from the guy being like, guys, this is what happened to me.
Was it released on YouTube?
Yeah, on some platform. I don't know if it was YouTube specifically. It was like somewhere online. And the guy puts the story out where he's like, this is what happened to me. This is, again, 2006. Nowadays, everyone would be like, oh, fake story or whatever, because people understand internet hoax and all that. But back then, people just put things out, right? With no explanation. Because in the video, the like thing, documentary type, it was literally being investigated. He says, luckily I had my phone with me and I thought I have to record this because no one's going to believe me. Do you get what I mean? And it's so serious. I would be like, oh my God, I would believe it too. And then they came out with like, oh yeah, this is This is a marketing thing.
See, but I don't know if I'd be more pissed off if I'd be like, what the actual hell? Like, what are you doing? Why would you give me this just to take this away from me? I'm going to go with another pension plan now.
Slow clap. But like, where do I sign? Although I would love to do that as a prank one day. Find someone who looks like me but is older and convince you that I've time traveled. Oh my God.
You should do it just like a sleep, and then I turn over and wake up and it's just like an old version of you.
Oh my God, that'd be terrifying.
Or just someone completely different. Pull like what they did in The Office, where it was like, you're not Jim. Yes, I am.
Trying to convince you this entire time. I would question my entire existence.
No, I think I would just freak out and think some psychopath has broken in and is pretending to be you.
Okay, yeah, it's a bit different if you wake up next to a random stranger than going into an office and seeing someone. Next story. In 1995, a caller to Art Bell's syndicated radio show, Coast to Coast AM, we had a little shout out from it earlier on, named Mike Macrum, claimed to have discovered a means of time travel using a Jacob's ladder. In attempting to build a larger version of this device, Macrum admitted that he had stolen several power transformers from the local power company, St. Joseph's Light and Power in King City, Missouri. In using them to power his time machine, he caused a local blackout that brought him to the attention of authorities. Police records confirmed that he had been arrested for this theft and sentenced to 60 days in jail, plus a suspended sentence. In 1996, a year later, he called the radio show again, stating he was building a second time machine from legally acquired parts this time.
Love it.
And was 30 days from completing the device. He claimed to have sent around 200 items and small animals through this device and announced he was going to travel through it himself. Macrum then disappeared in 1997. His absence led to a number of theories as well as giving birth to a number of urban legends. In 2005, Bell interviewed him again on his radio show Midnight in the Desert, where Macrum claimed that he had been transported 2 years into the future and 800 miles away, landing near Fairfield, Ohio, but suffered amnesia. While living in a homeless shelter, Macrum slowly remembered his name, his social security number, and other memories that enabled him to re-enter society. However, the Missouri State Highway Patrol has no record of him being reported as a missing person. Do we believe him? I kind of believe him.
So he disappeared for 2 years and no one reported he was missing?
No. The thing is, right, does he have family or close friends who would actually notice that he was missing? Because from the sounds of it, I don't think he did. So it would make sense if he disappeared and no one reported him as missing, because
that's true.
If someone doesn't notice you're missing, they're not going to report you as missing. I don't think that necessarily proves anything. Plus, they didn't say anything about him saying that he was homeless as well. This is the other thing I'm thinking why he doesn't have any close family or friends. If he was homeless for a while with amnesia, and again, no one seemed to have been like, let's try and find this person or whatever. Do you know what I mean?
People use people a lot. If you like got amnesia, oh yeah, you can just work for us while you live here.
Exactly. And the fact that his arrest was on record as well for stealing all those parts and causing a blackout, that was all real.
Yeah.
It's a bit sus, isn't it?
I was very hooked on the first part, but then towards the end I was kind of like, oh, what if it, like, instead of time travel, he just got electrocuted or something like that, and he had amnesia from the electrocution. But
then again, that doesn't explain how he would disappear for like this while, and then
still suspicious.
Very suspicious.
I'd hold it more like plausible, but I'm still suspicious.
Because I'm also thinking in my head, I'm like, if your body is to go through such a thing as time travel, it must take such
like a toll on your body.
So it would make sense as to why you wouldn't remember anything, because your mind is like, we're fried. You know, we cannot.
We're not meant to do this.
Yeah. But he didn't say anything about what he saw or anything. He didn't remember anything. Weird, right?
I like it.
Yeah, weird.
That's a good one. Like, out of all of them, that's like the most plausible so far.
Andrew Clausen was supposedly arrested in March 2003 for SEC violations for making 126 high-risk stock trades and being successful in every one. As reported, Clausen started with an initial investment of $800 and ended with over $350 million, which drew the attention of the SEC.
That's not suspicious.
Not at all. Later reports suggest that after his arrest, he submitted a 4-hour confession wherein he claimed to be a time traveler from 200 years in the future. He offered to tell investigators such things as the whereabouts of Osama bin Laden and the cure for AIDS in return for a lesser punishment and to be allowed to return to his time craft, although he refused to tell investigators the location or workings of his craft. You can't give the past people time travel. Absolutely not.
Things would go so wrong.
No, I'd be like, no. A mysterious man posted his bail and Carlson was scheduled for court hearing, but was never seen again. And the records show that he never existed.
Time, please. I mean, the stock market is volatile, man. To go from 800 to how much was it?
350
million.
Yep.
That's too much. That's not just luck. That's not just statistics.
You know.
You've got
That's
to know.
insider trading.
How many transactions did he make? Like
126 high risk.
126. That you can't get insider trading information from 126.
I mean, it was insider trading because he knew what was going to happen.
Well, insider trading as in the companies would have to tell him, but he just knew.
Right. I mean,
because he's the future.
Yeah.
He's a future man.
Yeah. Because this is exactly what you said you would do if you traveled to the future.
I would 100% get wealth and money. Like, I don't give a shit about time. Me investing in that stock is not going to really change much.
Forget about the war. Give me that sweet cash.
Give me that sweet money. I would do good things from a distance. Like, put the hunt for Bigfoot back on.
Real talk. Maybe there's a reason why you have not been gifted the gift of time travel, I guess.
I mean, that you know of.
Well, you're broke, homie, so...
For now. I'm telling you, 2 years' time, those stocks are going to be changing. You'll see.
2 years from now.
Blockbuster is coming back. Yahoo, it's a thing.
Making a return. Oh my goodness. Right. Well, the Carlson story likely originated as a fictional piece in Weekly World News, a satirical newspaper, and was later repeated by Yahoo News, where its fictitious nature became less apparent. It was soon reported by other newspapers and magazines as fact. This in turn drove word of mouth spread through email inboxes and internet forums, leading to far more detailed description of events.
Wait, so was it fact or fiction?
Well, it says likely. It didn't say it did originate. So we don't know.
Don't know for sure.
It's vague. They think it might have originated from there, but they don't know for sure.
I mean, I feel like if I was the government, I'd keep it under wraps.
Absolutely. Absolutely. You don't want things like this being like taboo.
The fact that he disappeared as well. Yeah. Either the government took him or, the time police, the ripples had come up. They found out. They went back, grabbed him, zoom. Yeah, because you couldn't have time travel without time police. Too many people would try and mess up the world.
Like you.
No.
Oh, wait, not like you. That's me. Sorry. Yeah. Like me.
I would just accumulate money.
Accumulate wealth. I would definitely mess up the world as we know it.
Definitely go out there killing the butterflies. Tash hates butterflies, guys.
No, I would not kill the butterflies. But some of y'all may not exist.
You're going to put a hit on Hitler?
I would definitely kill baby Hitler. Are you joking? When people say they're like, oh, ma, it's a baby. It hasn't done anything. You know what it's going to do. So why are you being like this? I'd be like, oh, good morning, Mrs. Hitler. I would definitely babysit. Okay, maybe I wouldn't kill baby Hitler, but I would travel into the future with baby Hitler.
I would sacrifice him into the volcano to cleanse this earth. Travel
back in time with baby Hitler to give to tribes who do ritual sacrifices. And I'd be like, here you go. It's just a fresh newborn sacrifice. I'm joking. Don't kill babies, obviously.
Just baby Hitlers.
But then it's not just Hitler, though. There's a long list of people who were directly responsible. So it would be at least 20 babies that you just be disappearing. It's suspicious, but then everyone would be right now with what's going on in the world, people wouldn't be oh, World War I or World War II. They'd just be oh my God, we're going to have a World War I. The first World War.
Well, war wouldn't even exist. They'll just be huh.
I mean, there's still other happening. Wars. Oh my God, yeah. If I made it so that no wars ever, anyone who tried to start a war, they would just disappear from the face of the planet. And I would just go back in time and snatch the babies.
I'm just picturing you with like a Santa sack filled with babies just over your shoulder running through time. Captain America.
I'm doing what the people need to be done, okay? World peace will be achieved. And it's at the expense of babies who will grow up to do horrible things. I'm snatching them. It will be like a boogeyman story where they'll be like, if you act up as a baby, you will get snatched. And I'll be like,
if you say Tasha in the mirror 3 times, they will come and snatch your baby.
Well, only if your baby is going to grow up to be someone responsible for killing millions of people, then yes, I would not hesitate.
What else have you got for me in the world of time travel?
In 2018, a man named Edward claimed to have traveled to the year 5000 and returned with photographic proof. Edward asserts that in 2004, he was selected for a secret project which sent him into the future. According to him, the photo he shared of an underwater city is actually LA 3 years in the future. By that time, the world will have been flooded by global warming and mankind will survive by living in floating cities such as the one from which he took the photo.
Oh my God, the Jonas Brothers were right. Welcome to the year of 3000. Not much has changed, but we live underwater. This man must have heard that song. Fake. I'm calling him fake right now. He's just a fan of Busted and the Jonas Brothers.
He must have heard that song. I mean, yeah, where did you get, like, nice photoshopping skills, Edward? I'm joking. I don't know. That's all there is to that.
I believe the story. I do believe, like, climate change is going to hit us. Like, cities are going to go underwater. But where did you get the camera from, boy? If you have time traveled, they're going to let you show that photo and you're going to be fine. Is he dead?
No, because we're living in a world where we are seeing the consequences of climate change. So
Yeah.
I feel like now the cat's out of the bag a little bit.
But it don't matter. If you were to show a photo of like cities underwater, say it's from time travel and climate change, if the government knew that was true, they'd be like, haha, shut up. Shut up, Edward.
Ready for another story?
Yeah, get Edward out of my head because you know what, Edward? You're
Yeah, you
pathetic.
seem like you want to fight Edward. Damn.
Yeah, I'm
Freaking
just
Edward.
joking, Edward. I love you. I would not have Tash snatch you as a baby. You can carry on.
First of all, you don't get to dictate who I snatch as a baby. Vanishing car. Originally shared in a 1988 magazine article, this story follows 2 men who, on an early afternoon in Louisiana during 1969, encountered a vehicle from the past. While driving on a highway, the duo glimpsed an older vehicle. Upon drawing closer, they saw the slow-moving car's license plate, which had the year 1940 on it. Inside, they saw a woman in 40s attire and a child who appeared scared and confused. After gesturing to her to pull over to see if she needed help, the 2 were astonished to see that the car had vanished. Another driver who witnessed the event also supported their claim.
So wait, what year was this?
The magazine article was released in 1988, but it happened in 1969.
And it was a car from the 1940s.
Yep.
And
And they were wearing 40s attire, and then the car vanished.
could be a cosplay situation.
But why would the car vanish? Or was it your pocket dimension theory? Or is it a ghost car?
I could see
Yeah.
ghost car.
Maybe they both died on that space and in a car crash. That case is ghost car.
I'm saying ghost car.
Ghost
I'm not
car.
saying it's time travel car, it's a ghost car.
One man visiting Japan arrived in Haneda Airport in Tokyo. This unknown man was detained because his country didn't exist.
Oh yes, I've heard this, yeah.
The man purported to be from a European country between Spain and France, which in our time is the microstate Andorra. But the man insisted that his country, Torrid, had occupied the same location. He was given a hotel room to stay in. Despite guards posted outside his door, he disappeared. Even his Torrid passport was gone. Maybe he returned to whatever time or parallel world he came from.
See, this one I don't see as time travel, I see as a parallel world. Our world kind of rejected it and kind of like pushed it out, and then it's like zoom. Or,
Yeah.
you know, they have people that deal with this
That
stuff.
deal with it. Yeah, it's weird, isn't it? Because like I've heard this story before as well, and like all of his documents, his passport, everything was just
Because they're thorough. They will check your passport. They check everything.
Absolutely.
And then they will not let you through.
yeah. They'll be
at
like,
all.
"What are you talking about? This is insane." And then he just kind of went back.
Yeah, so to get that far, to actually get on a plane and fly over there, like how did all those steps happen in between? And if they did happen and his country didn't exist and he didn't disappear, you got some questionings to do, security.
Absolutely. I think definitely. I feel like while on a plane, maybe turbulence happened and it just shifted the timeline and then it just caused him to like go into the wrong timeline.
But does that mean anyone else on the plane was in the right place, in the right universe?
Yeah, but maybe it was one of those situations where it was like the seat
and he switched with the other person.
Yeah, or maybe it was a seat that was supposed to be empty.
Yeah. That's why I also feel like there's some like Mandela effects with people, because you have like slight shifts in reality.
Yeah.
And suddenly you're not in the same place you were. So you're remembering it as it actually was. But here it's different.
Yeah. Victor Godard's flight. I'll read the story and then I'll tell you my theory.
Okay.
In 1935, Air Marshal Sir Robert Victor Godard was flying towards a disused airfield in Scotland. He flew into a strange storm with yellow clouds before descending back into view of the airfield. Somehow, the abandoned airstrip was now in use, with mechanics in blue overalls servicing yellow trainer planes. The storm came back, however, and Godard returned home. 4 years later, what he saw came true. RAF mechanic uniforms changed from brown to blue, trainer planes were painted yellow, and the airfield was reactivated, complete with a new kind of plane he'd seen from the air, the Magister, first flown in 1937. And then he was like, that was weird, told everyone, and everyone thought, it's a storm, you're a bit insane. And then, boom, the plane that he saw had now suddenly been, it's a thing now. Everything, the workers, the uniforms, everything's been changed.
I like that one.
So my
like atmospheric disturbances.
Yeah.
That's very time travel.
Interesting, right?
Very sci-fi-esque.
Yeah. Because now my theory, right, with this story plus the one from previously, something about storms or clouds, electrical interference, something about that temporarily causes maybe either time or like timelines or whatever to shift.
Particles, tachyons that actually exist that I don't know if it's theorized or they're actually capable of moving through time.
There you go. So I think that maybe
with disturbance to like bunch them up or something.
Sometimes it can be so powerful that it can literally shift someone. I thought that was the coolest one. I'm like, what? Imagine how weird that would be. You'd be like the weirdest sense of deja vu. You'd be like, oh my God, this is so weird. Like, I would be like, I've seen this before.
I know I've seen this.
I've been here before.
And then people would just gaslight you like, nah, this is new, bro. Like,
yeah, exactly. This didn't exist a few years ago. So what are you talking about?
Why would you think this?
And we are down to our last one.
Ooh.
This one is very recent, as in it happened this year. It's still happening.
2024?
2024, baby.
Baby.
At Alex Schau posted a video from the security camera of his Airbnb that was pointed at his back garden, where a man wearing glasses wanders around his garden and then goes into a shed. So he's seeing this Airbnb.
He's in the Airbnb seeing the guy. No, he's just seeing it from a video camera.
Yeah, from his video camera, security tape. Not security tape, but you get like live feeds from security.
Yeah, you get like the ring doorbell stuff, stuff like that. Yeah.
So he's seeing this. So he fast forwards through the video and notices that the man never leaves the shed. He even talks to the man through the camera, asking him what he was doing, but the man never responds. He then calls the police and they come in and they check the property, including the shed, and nothing. They don't find the man. Bearing in mind, Alec, I've watched these videos. Because people were asking him loads of questions. He posted the video and he was like, guys, this is really weird. Like this man, blah, 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 came in and like he just in the shed and now there's no one there. What's going on? Do you know what I mean? It was kind of weird. And he was like, okay, I think like the man might be a time traveler. Like he says, and people, the internet, people are like, no, it's not a time traveler. You don't know what you're talking about. But he shows the video, like he fast forwards through the video to show the man coming in, nothing. You even see the police come. He posted him talking to the police, asking them questions. The police being like, we've searched the property. There's no one here. Literally everything. And then he was like, weird. The next day, he gets a notification on his camera that there was movement in his back garden. So naturally, he goes to check. And an older man wearing different clothes leaves the shed And he notices that this older man has the same or similar facial features to the man that went in before. So I think the man that went in looked like he was maybe like late 30s, maybe early 40s. And the man that came out looked like he was maybe mid to late 60s, I'd say.
Damn, that's a long time.
Yeah, exactly. Everyone was like, whoa, my guy was in the shed for 20 years. But the thing that's to note is both of these people look directly at the camera and the man just leaves. The man just leaves the property. He looks through the day to see if anyone else had gone in. Nothing. No one else had seemed to have gone in. Then a different user at Matty Ice Rants, he makes a video because he takes the picture of the old man and he does a reverse image search. And the man came up. He finds someone that looks a lot like him, Stephen. Stephen had a profile on Quora where he asks questions about time travel, bearing in mind that Matty and Alec don't know each other. As far as I'm aware, they don't know each other. At first, actually, Matty makes a video making fun of Alex's video, being like, oh, I've got a time travel. Well, not like that, but it was like a skit making fun because he didn't believe it. He also found out that Stephen is a Harvard graduate who lives in New Mexico. So he's got the brains too.
In New Mexico, Roswell, hello.
Ooh. But Matty says that he found an obituary of Stephen from 2018. But through searching it, it seems someone posted about him dying on a different date in 2017. So you now have different dates. One on his obituary that says he died in 2018, but then someone who seems close to him being like he died in 2017.
Who is this man? Did he travel back, get stuck? But we've seen him as a 60-year-old come out.
This is what people are confused about. The man that came out of the shed looks a lot like Stephen, but Stephen is supposedly died 2017 or 2018. And now everyone's like, and was asking a lot of questions about time travel. But let me tell you something. Stephen had a website where there was an in-depth interview where he was very interested in transference of frequencies.
Frequency transference, you say?
But the whole situation remains a mystery.
I'm not going to lie, though. I like it, but I don't believe it. I feel like it might just be staged.
I did have the same thought. I was like, I feel like he has a lot to gain from this. Like, I don't know if it's true or not, but he's basically getting publicity for his Airbnb as well.
Yeah.
Because people will want to stay.
Exactly.
Absolutely.
And especially the part where you say he just like looks at the camera.
He's walking and then he like looks up and notices the camera. Same with the other guy. He notices the camera but does not care and just like continues.
But then again, why the shed?
That's what everyone is saying. Why the shed?
Surely that you didn't build it in someone else's shed in an Airbnb. And was he carrying anything?
The first guy had a backpack. But the backpack was never found. And the second guy who came out did not have a backpack.
I like the idea. I don't believe it. I just don't believe it.
This might be one of those things that we come back to in like 5 years, 10 years time, and we'll be like, oh, remember that story? And then we can actually have answers like, oh, it was just an ad, or oh, it was just this. But I just thought it was kind of fascinating to take something from now, because then maybe we can look at it in the future with a different lens and make our predictions now as to what it actually is. I don't know.
I don't know how accurate that Google photo search thing is.
Yeah.
If I was to put my face in there, would it come up with my my Instagram, my Facebook?
Never tried it.
I don't think you have a face profile with Quora. It's just a username.
Yeah.
So you would have to find that guy's username.
Yeah.
And it might not be the same as what his Instagram account is, because Facebook, you would just be a name. I'd like it to be true. I just don't see it being true.
That's all this time travel stories.
See, the safety not guaranteed one, the one I was talking about before, I think that was the bulletin board guy. And essentially, this dude put an advert in the paper which said, safety not guaranteed. I've only done this once. Bring your own weapon. So these journalists went out to talk to him. And apparently he was convinced that he had time traveled. He had built a time machine and he wanted someone to come with him again to go and travel in time. And in the movie, he steals from this power company, bulbs and stuff like this for his machine. It was based on a true story. It's based on a real article that someone put in a paper.
Maybe that's the article.
Maybe that's the guy.
Interesting. I've never watched that film.
I can't remember it that well, but I remember it being good.
What's been your favorite story?
My favorite story has been the passport one. The dude that had the passport that looks like an official document. but it has nothing to do with any country. But I don't know if that's time travel.
Yeah.
I'm not sure. But one I don't believe at all. Edward, man. You can't be saying you're in government programs, top secret, go into these places, they let you do this, and they're just going to let you show a photo of like the future that you've seen. If you were to fall through a crack in time and space and it happened, Edward, I'm all on your side. But my God, man, no. Thank you for listening to this episode of the Sticious podcast on time travel. Thank you, Tash, for all those amazing stories.
You are welcome. And be sure to check out our previous episodes if you haven't already.
Yeah, we talk about mermaids, vampires, the end of the world. We got myths, creatures, theories. We cover it all.
Yes, and if you would like to follow us on our social medias, we are at Sticious Podcast or at Sticious_podcast for most things. And we will see you soon.